Apple's newest iPhone XS is a typical S upgrade. It's incremental. And this incremental upgrade is gonna cost you around $1,000. And that's a lot of money for a phone. But nowadays it seems like $1,000 may be becoming the new norm. But does that extra money get you something substantially more? Or are you better off with a more budget device, like the OnePlus 6? A phone that comes in around $530. My name is Kevin the Tech Ninja, and today we're gonna take a more budget phone and battle against the newest iPhone XS. Let's take a look. Even with the price, the OnePlus 6 is quite a premium feeling device. It comes with Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the front and back, while the edge of the phone is metal. It feels very solid in the hand, just like the iPhone XS. The XS also comes in all glass front and back that is a little bit more scratch resistant than last year's, according to Apple. The difference to me though, is the OnePlus 6 size. It's actually taller than the XS and it's almost comparable to the bigger XS Max because both phones are quite thin. 7.7 millimeters for the XS and 8.7 millimeters for the OnePlus 6. On the front, you'll find some very familiar looking designs. Both of these phones have the notch, but the screens are different. So they're both AMOLED, but the OnePlus 6 screen is only full HD resolution compared to the XS's 2K resolution screen. Side by side, in many situations, the iPhone panel is better, but that's to be expected. There's also a bit more technology to the screen as the iPhone has 3D touch support, and that's something not available on the OnePlus 6. The iPhone XS also has stereo speakers while the OnePlus has the one mono speaker. Here's an audio clip to let you guys hear the difference in a real-world example. Just like majority of flagship phones of 2018, they're both made of glass and they can get very slippery, fingerprints and smudges, so I recommend grabbing a D-brand skin. Not only do they make your device a little bit easier to hold, they actually look pretty cool too. Hit the link down below to D-brand your device. If it's any consolation here, the OnePlus 6 still has the fingerprint scanner and also a headphone jack, while the iPhone does not have either of those. So the iPhone does have water resistance at an IP68, which now is one of the best standards to get in a cell phone. While the OnePlus says it has some level of water resistance but doesn't have an IP certification, which doesn't make me feel too secure at the beach or at the pool. Not a big deal for some people, but as a person who's had a water damaged phone before, I would have loved to save that $500 by having a water resistant phone. So OnePlus definitely had to cut some corners here to make the phone fit in this price point. But when it comes to performance and specs, OnePlus did not do that. So OnePlus 6 has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor and also 6 GB of RAM at this price. Now obviously Apple is bringing their all new Bionic processor, which is only found on iPhones. And this Bionic processor is the A12 6-core CPU with 4 GB of RAM. It's also Apple's first nanometer chip, so the performance is just butter. You can expect that on a new iPhone that performance is gonna be really good, but on the flip side, the OnePlus actually performs well too. It's actually one of the best performing Android phones, and that goes down to software. I think the OnePlus runs the best version of Android 8.0. Oxygen OS is just super duper smooth. It's like stock Android, but it has some enhancements on top. But these enhancements don't get in the way. You can do things like change color, change themes, and all these things that just make for a really good experience. Also, the additional software is not a hindrance. It doesn't remove any type of functionality or performance. It just adds to the overall experience. While the iPhone, you get iOS 12, which is a solid operating system, obviously, but you don't have tons of customizations. You pretty much have a vanilla experience, can't change any icons, can't do things like that. But for a lot of iPhone users, they really don't care. And also, if you've never used gesture control, that's the new way to use an iPhone. There's no more home button anymore. You actually have to use the gestures, which I actually do prefer. So the OnePlus 6 gives you the option to do face unlock, and also, as I mentioned before, you have the fingerprint scanner, while the iPhone uses the Face ID. The OnePlus screen to unlock is just very fast, and I'm not sure how secure it is, but once again, with Face ID, when it actually unlocks, you have to then flick your thumb up to get into the OS, while the OnePlus, you just look at the phone and it gets you into it. Something very minor, but something I do want to mention. So let's talk about cameras. The iPhone XS has a very solid dual 12 megapixel wide and telephoto setup. Without digging into specs too much, it's a pretty decent setup and it's pretty much the same from what we're seeing last year. It's not a major change, but they said it's a new sensor. For the OnePlus 6, you'll find dual 16 and 20 megapixel setup, and it's gone through 2 major software upgrades since launch with HDR and also the front-facing camera and portrait modes. When I compare both pictures side by side, I think both of them look pretty good, but when you dig down to it, the iPhone is just a better camera. I think the OnePlus 6 is a bit softer and also the colors don't look great, but at the same time, when you look at price or you look at basic pictures for social media and things like that, I definitely think OnePlus is extremely passable. OnePlus also does pretty good video with 60 frames per second at 4K and also slow motion mode. iPhone has the same features and albeit looks a little bit better, but OnePlus does hold its own against the iPhone's camera.
Okay, here's the front-facing camera video. So I want to hear your thoughts on the video, the audio, how it looks, how it sounds. It's around 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm walking in this this shaded area. Let me know what you think. How does it look? How does it sound? Okay, same deal. How does it look? How it sound? I'm walking around in the exact same shaded area as the OnePlus, and I want to know what you think about it. How does it look? How does everything sound? How's stabilization? Let me know.
So I will say video is better on the iPhone because it has the dual optic image stabilization system, which makes the videos a lot more smoother than on the OnePlus. OnePlus isn't bad by any means, but the iPhone just has a more fluid video. It just looks a lot better. It sounds better with the stereo recording. And I just think the iPhone video in general is just better than OnePlus. But at the same time, it's extremely comparable, and then you look at price, it's sort of one of those things that it could be a wash, and depending on how important cameras are to you, if it would even really matter. So there's a couple more things that I do want to point out about the iPhone XS. It does support wireless charging while the OnePlus 6 does not, but also the iPhone XS supports fast charging, but it doesn't come with a fast charger in the box. It comes with a standard charger. While the OnePlus comes with dash charging, which is the fastest charging available. It's just mind-blowing how fast dash charging is, while iPhone, you get the same speeds that you've been getting forever. Unless you get their fast charger, you have to buy that after the fact. It doesn't come with it, which is sort of a bummer. One thing about Android that grinds my gears is software updates. Android is really bad at doing software updates, but OnePlus is actually on top of software more than almost any other manufacturer out there. So I'm excited to know that my OnePlus phone is going to get updates for at least a couple years, and if not, there'll be a community out there that can get me these updates. Well, obviously the iPhone, they release an update, everyone gets it the same day. So it's just nice to know that with OnePlus, you're going to have a supported phone for a while, and also every 6 months a OnePlus phone comes out. So you have the OnePlus 6, and then a couple more months from now you're going to have the OnePlus 6T, and then probably 5 to 6 months after that you're going to have the OnePlus 7. If things continue to go to that schedule. So just know that your phone will be quote unquote obsolete in 6 months with OnePlus. So something I will let you guys know. So to me, it just depends on if you want the best bang for your buck. Obviously the OnePlus 6 phone is way better than anything out there in my opinion. But if you want the latest and greatest as far as specs and hardware, then iPhone and Samsung are going to be your choices. Those are like luxury models when it comes to phones and technology in a package. But if you just want a great overall phone that doesn't break the bank, I think the OnePlus 6 is a phenomenal choice. It's been my favorite phone for the past 2 years as far as like the newest OnePlus 6 model. I just really enjoy the experience with it in hand and everything like that. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and also leave a comment. Let me know what phones do you feel is better than the iPhone, or is just the iPhone the best phone and that's it? I'd love to hear from you. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
KTTN, say it again. Tell a friend that it's him again. Yo, real talk, opinions gon' be sharper than 4K. Scope squad, eat it up, simmer it, saute. Ninja got reviews and rants galore. You ain't never seen a channel like this before. No hashtag.